What up? Welcome to No Bad Vibes TV, and it's me. I'm gonna do a different intro, different flavor today. I know it's been a minute. I always say that every video, but I actually want to answer 10 of the most asked questions about my book. Boom. So the main purpose of this book is for people who feel suicidal and depressed and no self-esteem and all that type stuff. Why would I write a book like that? Because a lot of you know in my book Boom, I have put how I was like suicidal since 8 years old, and how I was like depressed and had a lot of different shit upstairs that was like I didn't feel too good about myself back in the day. And I sort of like want to motivate and uplift people who need that, like I did. I needed that. I'm gonna say no child is traumatized for no reason. Okay, like no child is traumatized for no reason. Like honestly, there's reason, and I guess like for me, some of those reasons I was things that traumatized me were like being made fun of like for my weight, being called like fat boy on it all the time. And it wasn't like as a joke, it was more in a serious way. Like really I had low self-esteem about my weight and the way I walk, the way I talk, all types of stuff like that. I was made fun of as a kid. And of course that takes away your self-esteem. And as I brought some of the stuff I brought up in my book, explains that some of the time frames and names and events were changed. Just look up here. It's for the book. But the stuff did happen. Like I couldn't. The reason why I sort of had to do that was because, mind you, this book is not just about me and my childhood. This book is about. It's much bigger than that. It's about helping people suicidal and depressed. And I keep saying that over and over again. That's why I do so much motivational speaking, because of, people that feel like that. Yeah, so it's much bigger than my childhood. That's it. It's to help people. How did I learn about what happened at 6 months old, being thrown in the dumpster? Well, my mom being a model and everything I brought up in my book, are on her way to a modeling career. My grandma told me a lot of stuff. I spent a lot of time with my grandma, as you guys know in my book, her and my aunt Sarah, and they told me a lot of stuff, man, about that and a lot of the family history stuff that I would never even put in this book, because like I said, it's not about me, it's about helping people. Before I published this book, I had so many thoughts, but um, this is one of the thoughts. Refer to this video.
I'm about to say a couple of family members is gonna hate me, but I'm gonna let you know what's been going on lately.
So, yeah, I was scared of judgment. I was scared that, people like wouldn't believe me and shit like that, and like they'll say that like, oh, you lied or you sold your soul or something like that. It's like, no, I didn't sell my soul to the devil. I don't worship Satan. I don't worship some cult or something like that. It's not like that. A lot of people who've had experiences like mine risk their shit. Like, they really risk stuff. Because there's a lot of stuff that people don't agree with that you might write in your book. But you got to speak your truth. And many authors go through this, especially from like close people, like people close to them, or people that they have known before. A lot of authors go through the judgments and the letdowns or put downs from the closest people. To be honest with you, it's not really, this book isn't really for like the closest people. This is more for people who need help, like, or some type of motivation. And I keep saying that. A lot of people don't realize like how risky it is. Us authors take a lot of risk. YouTubers and indie ears and stuff like that, we take such a big risk, and we not alone. Let alone we also risk our spiritual fate. Like, like if we're lying and making up a bunch of shit, we're gonna be held totally responsible for that. So don't you know? I wouldn't just say a bunch of stuff out my butt. You feel what I'm saying? My editor actually happens to be, or should I say, a close friend of mine just happened to be an editor. And she told me, like, listen, you need to write a book. You have a crazy story, a crazy life story. Just write about it and write. So as I wrote about it, and I just kept writing, and everything I wrote, I would send to her, and she would say, holy crap. After a few months, we started getting chapters, and it was like, oh shit, I got chapters now. So I was all excited and shit that I had chapters, but I don't know. Yeah. I started doing a lot of public motivational speaking, stuff that I never thought I'd do. Like, I was always like the one in class that would register to do his oral presentation for the last day, like, because I really didn't want to go in front of these people and speak. But now it's just more like, all right, I'm like, okay, I'm first up. Let me go first. I do a lot of radio, a lot of podcasts. People ask me questions daily. Like, oh my goodness. If you knew the friend request and the messages I get on a daily basis about like just this book alone, I'm like, holy crap. And I mean, that's good for a book sale, but at the same time, what the joy I get out of it is people that tell me, like, I heard your story and I just want to say you helped me a lot, or I just lost someone to suicide, or someone I know is depressed and they're thinking about suicide. So it's that I really like that. I appreciate that more than anything. Like my YouTube channel, I don't have the most followers in life. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have the most followers in the world, but I mean, the ones I do have been down since day one. So, I could do a video every few weeks and still have followers, the same followers. I might lose like one or two or something like that, but that's life. I appreciate the people I have now. A lot of people that personally knew me before were like, some people were like, I remember like when you were a little kid, you were shy and quiet. I had a feeling something was wrong. And I had other people I know that are like, oh my God, Chris, you didn't tell me that you were going through so much stuff. Why didn't you reach out? It's like, it wasn't like that. I wasn't one to reach out to people. I always kept a lot of stuff in here, which that would drive motherfucker crazy. No, because the main purpose of this book I feel has been fulfilled. No matter there's those that like appreciate it, and then those that hate it. Those that doubt it, those that like seriously like bash me for it. But I mean, that's life. You never be great. You expect everybody to see what you're saying. I say about 98% of people loved it, and then the other 2% hated it and were like, you're a fucking liar, fuck you, and everything like that. You know what I mean? But like I said, I'm not doing it for the ones that don't love it. I'm doing it for the ones that do. It's much bigger than a book. It's just people's lives every day. Maybe somebody could read a passage or something that I wrote, or hear a podcast or radio or something I did. I mean, maybe they could say like, hey, like, I'm not gonna reach out to this guy, but I really love and appreciate the fact that someone like me gets it. Someone that actually went through a suicide attempt. He actually went through with it. I felt like I could relate to people like that, because I mean, who better for it to come from than someone who's been through it? I've heard from people who I haven't heard from literally in years. I'm talking about like years, like 10 plus 10, 15 more plus years I haven't even heard from. Uh, and they're finding me and reaching out to me. Some people that's a good thing, cuz I'm like, "Oh shit, I haven't heard from you forever." And then some are like, "Wait a minute. Where the fuck were you when I was broken and hurting, and you know what I mean? And how do you find me now all of a sudden? You could have found me some years back." The writing process for this book took about a year and a half. I remember after we were doing the chapters, we were about like maybe 6 months into the book when I started getting actual chapters, and I'm like, holy shit, like we have chapters now, we have a book. We got liftoff. Houston, there's a fucking problem. Chris that is a published author now. Take that shit. You know what I mean? I'm proud of it. I love it, and I think my editor. I even used to always say my editor will kick your editor's ass. You know, as a joke, of course, but that's how much I appreciate her. Another thing I do appreciate about having like an editor that's a friend is that that's an actual dear friend. So it's not just like business. Like, okay, uh, you know, like, okay, you put the book together and you're like, all right, that's it.
Hey, so long. See you, sucker. Bon voyage. Arrivederci, later, loser. Goodbye. Good riddance. Peace out. Let the doorknob hit you where the good Lord split you. Don't come back round here no more. Hasta visa.
Even before the book, we always have. I was actually scared of religion. Religion made me very scared because all I knew was just read the King James Version Bible, obey it, or go to hell and burn for eternity and everything like that. You could be a good person, as good as you want to be, but if you don't follow everything in this King James Version, you're going to burn. Which I learned that spiritually, um, God is much bigger. I call him source because everybody has a name for him, but it's like it's the same source, the same power, the same love. You know what I mean? I don't think God has any favorites. God is too big of a being, you know, too big of a light to have favorites. Now I chase God a lot more. Some of the things in the Bible do, King James Version Bible, do add up to some of the ways I live now. Like, say, loving people, and it's, I don't know, like, I don't even, I try to get my, like, the cursing, I'm still, like, working on that right now, as you can tell, but you could curse and be a great person. Or I appreciate life, the plants, the animals, I mean, everything. It's beautiful. I appreciate people's spirits more. I don't get pissed off as fast as I used to. So yeah, man, those are the top 10 questions that you guys are probably wondering. So every other YouTube does it, so I guess I gotta do it too. I gotta say like, subscribe, and all that other different shit's naive. If you do, you do. I love it, you know. Well, I actually tried to make a little subscribe screen, but shit didn't work out too much. Man, I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Stay weird. Stay different. Happy holidays to y'all too, man. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Whatever Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate it. Oh, and before I leave this video, I want to say, keep love in your heart, man. Remember that. Remind yourself of that. Like, every day you wake up, every day, remind yourself. Keep love in your heart. So love y'all, appreciate y'all, stay weird, stay different. It's no bad vibes, and oh shit, I always messed up on this part. Okay, it's all love, man. No bad vibes, and we out.